Okay, let me give you guys some more practice. So get yourself a graph plotter and plot this graph, and it should then give you a graph looking like this. Okay, something like that. Well, anyway, find dy by dx of this. Okay, so press pause and have a go. Okay, so to visualize this as this, you see when you come to differentiate both sides here, later on you ultimately want to take the derivative of both sides. But the thing is, this part here is really hard to do because you've got to imagine this as being one bubble and then multiplying another bubble here. So you know you've got to use the product rule. So visualize this. This bit's hard to do, but visualize it as this. So this power of 2 here, visualize it as this. Okay. So here you know you've got to use the product rule, but the thing is within here. So remember the product rule is you differentiating the first part, leaving leaving this bubble the same, and then later on leave this bubble the same, and then differentiate this part. But it's difficult to differentiate this because here you've got bubble squared. So here you've got bubble squared, meaning you've got to differentiate this to bubble, and then you've got to try and differentiate the inner bubble. But then inside this bubble here, you've got another bubble here. And then within this bubble here, you've got a product of x, and remember this, within this inner bubble here, you've got y in here. Meaning that, remember, y is a function of x. So within this small bubble here, you've got to use the product rule. So if you think about it, out here, you're using the product rule. But then when you come to differentiate this, you're going to use the chain rule. But then when you come to differentiate this, you're going to use the product rule within the product rule, within the chain rule. So that's why this thing here is quite difficult to differentiate. So well, anyway, so visualize this thing here as one bubble multiplying this bubble here. So now using this product rule here, let's try and do this anyway. So here, differentiate this. So that would then be 6x. Okay. So we are doing this part here. So differentiate this. Leave this bubble the same. So when you differentiate this, it will be 6x. That will give you this thing here, 6x here. Okay, and then leaving the v the same. So leaving this thing intact. So this thing here is intact. Okay. Now this plus here is this plus here, and now leave the u the same. So leave this bubble the same. That's this bubble the same here. And then you've got to times it with then you've got to times it with the differential of this. Now the differential of this will be, well, imagine this as bubble squared. So it's going to be 2 bubble intact. So it's going to be 2 bubble intact. Okay, and then you've got to times it with the differential of cos bubble here. Well, this next bit here is cos bubble here. So you've got to differentiate that. So that will be minus sign and then the bubble here. And then you've got to time, and now within this bubble here, you've got x, y in here. So you've got to use a product rule here. So times it with, well, remember, differentiate the x. That would just leave you the y. So that would just leave you the y. And then hang on, let me think. And then you've got to do the y. So when you differentiate the y, it will just leave you the x. But then you've got to times it dy by dx here. So when you come to differentiate this here, it will give you this thing here. Okay, differentiate this, it will give you this. This bit here is really confusing. So you just got to train yourself to do it. If you get stuck, here's another way of doing it. Just looking at this bit here, just this bit here only. Forget about this. Just looking at this here, you can imagine it as this. Okay, let's say z equals, remember, just looking at this bit here. Okay, so cos squared, that thing, you can imagine it as this. Visualize this here as this bubble squared. Okay, so when so you can just say w squared here, z equals this here, where w equals this. Okay, so where w equals this thing here, but then the q here is x. So here I guess you just have to press pause and probably think about this. Here's just another way of looking at it. But then for you to work out for you to differentiate just this bit here, you would have to do this. For you to work out dz by dx here, you have to work out dz by dw times, so this is like the chain rule within a chain. Well, so in order for you just to differentiate this here, you got to do this. You got to work out dz by dw, and then dw by dq, and then dq by dx. So it's just another way of looking at it. Okay, so now let's start again here. Originally we were given this. Okay, originally we were given this, but visualize it as one bubble multiplying another bubble. Originally we were given this, but in your mind visualize this bit here as this. Okay, now use the product rule. This bit here, train yourself to do it in one go. So jump from here to here in one go. Okay, so this one here, differentiate this. So that will give you 6x, leaving this intact. Okay, and then leave this the same. That's this being the same, and then differentiate this. That will be 2 bubble. Okay, and then you've got to try and differentiate this bit here. That will then give you minus sign here, and then looking at this bit here, that will give you y, and then now you've got to differentiate the y here, so that will leave you the x, and then dy by dx. Maybe you had to press pause and jump and think about it. Okay, learn to train yourself to jump from here straight to here in one go. Okay, well anyway, differentiating both sides will give you this now. Okay, and then well, if you think about it, here you've got one block here. So you've got one block multiplying with this block here, multiplying with this block here, multiplying with this block, multiplying with this block here. All this here will simplify to this. Okay, and then then you've got one block taking away this block here. So add this block to both sides, move it to the other side. That will then give you this. Okay, keep an eye on this dy by dx. That's what you're trying to isolate. And then divide both sides by this bubble here. That will then give you this. Okay, and then what? And then this cancels out, and then the x here will turn it into a squared here. Okay, and then when you're here, visualize. When you're here, hang on. When you're here, visualize it as one block multiplying with this block. Down here you've got this block multiplying with this block, multiplying with this block here. This will get cancelled out, leaving you this. Okay, so overall it becomes that. But the hard part is this bit here. The hard part is you trying to differentiate this. Hang on. The hard part is the start here. So when given this here, try to visualize this in your mind, and then from this jump to this in one go. Okay, don't bother doing all this thing here. Okay, don't bother doing this thing here, all this argy-bargy stuff here. Just jump. Yeah. So from here, hang on. So from here, when given this here, visualize this in your mind, and then from here, train yourself to jump to here. Okay.